The subway car rattled, lights buzzing overhead, but all anyone could hear was the piercing cry of a baby. Little Leo's body was a tight arch, his fists balled, his face a blotchy red. Marcus, dressed in a sharp navy suit and a blue tie, clutched him with both arms. Sweat was soaking through his shirt. The polished billionaire, who could command boardrooms and close multi-million-dollar deals, looked utterly helpless here, stranded in a subway car with a child who wouldn't stop wailing. "Shh, come on, buddy. Please," Marcus muttered, hoisting him stiffly. He tried swaying, patting, even offering a pacifier. Leo only shrieked louder. The sound bounced off the blue upholstered seats and metal poles, making passengers turn with irritated glares. A woman in a simple beige shirt sat a few feet away, her hair pulled into a ponytail, a canvas tote bag resting on her lap. She had been watching quietly, her face unreadable. Finally, she leaned forward. "He's not just fussy," she said. "That's a pain cry." Marcus's head snapped up, defensive. "I've got it under control." His voice was more wasted from nerves than confidence. "No," the woman said, calmly, her eyes steady on his. "You've exhausted everything but listening. He's telling you something." Marcus hugged Leo closer. "I'm his father. I know my son. Do you?" Her tone was blunt, but not cruel. "Listen to him." That deep fixed, desperate wail. The clenched fists. She looked past Marcus' shoulder, seeing the child's distress more clearly than he could. "Something's wrong. May I check?" Marcus' jaw clenched. A stranger on the subway offering to handle his son. He shook his head. "Number, thank you." Leo's screams grew louder, the sound so sharp that a teenager in the back car covered his ears. An older man grumbled, "Someone shut that kid up." The woman, whose name he didn't know yet, didn't falter. She leaned closer. "He's in pain. I've seen this before." Marcus hissed under his breath. "I don't need advice." He cut himself off, knowing how harsh he sounded. His face flushed, a mix of shame and stubbornness. The woman's eyes narrowed. "You don't need advice, but your son needs help. That's the difference." The train jolted, making Marcus hold onto a pole with one hand and guard Leo tighter with the other. The baby's face was almost purple now, tears streaking down his cheeks. Marcus' voice wavered again. "What do you think it is, then?" She moved forward in her seat, lowering her voice. "Could be a hair tourniquet. Sometimes a strand of hair gets wrapped around a baby's toe or a finger. It cuts off circulation. It burns. Parents miss it all the time." Marcus blinked at her. "A single hair, yes. It hurts like fire. If I'm wrong, you'll know in seconds. If I'm right, and you keep ignoring it." She trailed off, letting the silence hit harder. The train screeched into the next station. The door slid open. More riders squeezed in, glaring as Leo's wail filled the car again. Marcus felt their judgment like a knife. He leaned in, almost pleading. "Why would you even stop?" "To help him," she said, her hands outstretched, steady, not begging, just offering. "Please." Marcus hesitated. Every instinct screamed not to hand his child to a stranger, especially here, surrounded by foreign eyes. But Leo's sobs broke through his pride. His son's arm reached out, extending toward the woman in beige as if he knew. Marcus swallowed hard. "If anything happens, you're still holding him." She cut in. "I'm not taking him. I'm helping him." He moved, viciously, raising Leo so she could see. "Fine. Show me." She moved fast, but cautiously, talking as she worked. "Take off his sock." Marcus fumbled, yanking at the tiny grey sock. His hand trembled as he peeled it off. He gasped softly when he saw the baby's smallest toe, red and swollen, with a failed dark line cutting into the skin. "There," she pointed. "That's it." Marcus' throat went dry. "Oh my God." She pulled out a Metro card from her tote. "I can slip the hair up with this. Do you have sanitizer?" A woman across the aisle handed over a small bottle without a word. The woman in beige sanitized her finger, then gently maneuvered the card's edge under the nearly invisible strand. Her forehead was furrowed with concentration. "Keep him steady. He needs you to be calm." Marcus tried to breathe evenly, holding Leo's trembling body against his chest. "It's okay, buddy. Daddy's here." It took only a second more. The woman hummed softly as she worked, a low tune that seemed to ground the baby. She used a small pair of tweezers from her bag. Marcus noticed how practiced her movements were, not clumsy at all. Then she lifted the hair away. The toe blushed pink almost immediately. As soon as she lifted the tiny strand off, Leo's screen collapsed into a huge, shaky sob. His fists unclenched, his little arm reaching forward, not toward Marcus, but toward her. Marcus stiffened. His son, who was wailing in his arms seconds ago, was now reaching out desperately to a stranger. His pride was stunned, but his fear melted away faster. He moved, letting the woman's arm slide under Leo's small body. She held him close against her beige shirt, swaying gently, humming a low tune. The baby's sobs dissolved into soft whimpers. His face pressed against her shoulder. His small hand clutched her collar, as if holding on to safety. The entire subway car watched in stunned silence. Marcus' own breath shook. For the first time all day, Leo was calm, and it wasn't him who made it happen. "See," the woman said softly, stroking the baby's back. "He just needed someone steady." Marcus swallowed, his voice barely audible. "I couldn't even do that." "You love him," she said firmly, her eyes steady on him while still cradling the child. "That's why you asked for help, even if it hurt your pride." Leo gave a small sigh, his cheeks wet, but peaceful now, his arms still hooked around her. The sound was full of the quiet that followed. They were pulling into the next station. Riders filed out, some muttering about what they had just witnessed. One woman tapped the woman in beige's arm and whispered, "You saved him," before sliding onto the platform. The woman's face flushed, but she just hugged Leo against her chest. Marcus leaned forward, his voice lower. "Come with me now. I want a doctor to check him out right away." Her eyebrows pinched. "I can't. I have my cleaning shift. It'll cover it," Marcus said quickly. "Please, I need to be sure he's okay." She hesitated, then nodded. 2 hours, that's all I can give." At an urgent care center, a pediatrician examined Leo's small toe and confirmed the woman's diagnosis. If the hair had been on any longer, it could have amputated the circulation completely. "You were exactly right," the doctor told her. Marcus watched, silent, humbled as Leo sat placidly in the woman's lap, chewing on his finger with gummy relief. Outside the urgent care, Marcus finally asked, "How did you even know what to look for?" She shrugged. "I used to volunteer at a pediatric ward, learned from a nurse. Sometimes it's the little things that kill. People don't believe you when you tell them, until it's too late." Her words came out heavier than she intended. Marcus scrutinized her face. "You're not a nurse now." She shook her head. "I clean apartments. It's steady, even if it doesn't get me anywhere. School was too expensive, and life doesn't wait for your dream." She swallowed. "So, you just saved my son, and you're worried about a cleaning shift." "I'm worried about paying my rent," she said plainly. "Your son needed help. I gave it. That doesn't change my situation." Marcus stared at her, struggling with the weight of what she just said. He had signed million-dollar contracts over lunch, yet this woman didn't have certainty about tomorrow. And yet, she was the one his son clung to. He looked down at Leo, who was reaching again for her, his small fingers opening in demand. Marcus' throat constricted. "He trusts you." She met his gaze. "He trusts you, too. He just doesn't ask for perfection, just presence." The words cut through him. Truth often does. Simple and undeniable. He swallowed hard. "I shouldn't be scrubbing floors while you can't even afford to live. I'm a billionaire, and yet I couldn't help my own son. You're poor, but you did the impossible, in minutes. If you want to work with me, make it a real job, not charity." "It's not charity," Marcus said quickly. "It's a job, a real job. You clearly know more about infant care than half the nannies I've interviewed. Help me build something that actually matters. A program that teaches parents how to look for these things before it's too late. Paid position, benefits, flexible hours." She studied him with doubt. "You'd really put money into that?" Marcus' voice was raw. "My son was screaming in my arms and I didn't know why. You saved him. If I don't act on that, what kind of father am I?" She held his eyes. looking for pride. But all she found was a man stripped of his defenses, desperate to do the right thing. Slowly, she nodded. If you're for real, if you're steady, he'll do it. Relief washed over his face. I am. Leo stirred, yawning against her shoulder. She gently passed him into Marcus' arms. For the first time, the baby didn't cry. He settled against his father's chest, his tiny fist resting against Marcus' thigh. Marcus' voice moved as he whispered, "Thank you, Amara." She smiled thinly. "Thank you." She knew what he needed to hear. You just had to listen. The two of them stood on the pavement outside the urgent care, the city rushing past, horns blaring, neon lights flashing. Yet in their small circle of quiet, everything had shifted. Marcus, the billionaire, understood his fortune couldn't buy what she gave him freely: competence, humility, and grace under pressure. And Amara, the woman in beige, understood for the first time in a long time that her knowledge, dismissed too often, had saved a life. As a cab pulled up, Marcus opened the door with one hand, still holding Leo with the other. He turned back one last time. "Tomorrow, I'll have someone call you, not to hire you, but to work with me." Amara nodded, her tote bag still slung over her shoulder, her eyes tired, but shining. "I'll be here." Leo gave a soft sigh, almost as if in agreement, and as the cab pulled away, Marcus knew that nothing about his life, his business, his fatherhood, his future would ever look the same again.